I've been coming to this memorial for 40 years, missed a couple, but, and I've spoken at too many police memorials all around the country. And it always amazes me how the public doesn't fully understand what we expect of our law enforcement officers. We expect you to be people ready to stand in the way and take a bullet for us. We expect you to be able to track down the bad guys. We expect you to be the psychologist, the couple that are having a violent confrontation together, to step back. We expect you to be everything. We expect everything of you. And it's beyond the capacity of anyone to meet the total expectations. Being a cop today is what
a member of SEIU by the name of Wendy Coe years ago spent the whole day with. The work she did during those long hours of that day was extraordinary. Taking care of an elderly woman who required everything that everyone requires. So Wendy was responsible for, and did it in a loving way, for food preparation, for helping the person she was caring for to actually get to the table where she would need to eat, changing her clothes, cleaning the bed from time to time, assisting the elderly lady with going to the bathroom, taking her on walks to uplift her spirit, and talking about the beauty of the day, and let's look and see this and that. It was extraordinary work. And then sometimes not knowing when the elderly woman would have fits where she needed support, she needed some emergency or, unscheduled kind of assistance around her health care. Wendy Coe did all this work in the course of one day. And I mention that to also highlight a point that you made about the training.
A hell of a lot harder than it's ever been.
So President Joe Biden just announced that Democrats must lower the price of their new social spending bill, or else it will not pass through Congress. And this bad news, everybody, for a fourth stimulus check. But still, you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out the latest news about the fourth stimulus payments, and when the IRS might send them out. So be sure to stay until the end of this video, folks. So President Biden just said that congressional Democrats are not going to get the full $3.5 trillion social spending bill that was outlined earlier this summer. This is the first time he's publicly acknowledged the price tag needed to be cut in the face of resistance from a small party. In his speech, Biden said, "I'm convinced we're going to get it done. We're not going to get $3.5 trillion. We'll get less than that, but we're going to get it. But we are going to get it." Biden also appeared to suggest some measures in the safety net bill could be dropped entirely. Biden added, "I don't know if I can get it done, but I've also proposed 2 years of free community college." The president's remarks illustrate the tenuous state of the negotiations between Democrats and Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia. It includes child care subsidies, new Medicare benefits, Medicaid expansion, a revamped child tax credit, and affordable housing. All are on the chopping block, with Democrats struggling to resolve major differences on the scale of tax increases, in which priorities have many Democrats growing frustrated with the pair, since they want to approve the legislation as quickly as possible, so new federal benefits get out the door quickly, ahead of next year's midterms. But negotiations are stalling out, partly over Sinema's resistance to lifting tax rates for individuals and large businesses. The party's pushing the spending plan through a process known as reconciliation that allows Democrats to approve it with a simple majority and skirt unified GOP opposition. But Democrats need both Manchin's and Sinema's votes for the plan to clear the 50-50 Senate and making it unanimous in the upper chamber. Biden appeared to suggest that another reconciliation bill could be in the cards, a possibility some House Democrats have not been ruling out for next year. And everybody, Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin are ramping up their war of words as Democrats struggle to get past weeks of increasingly publicly fighting over their sweeping social spending plan. Bernie Sanders touted the benefits that could be included under a $3.5 trillion bill. Sanders said in a statement, poll after poll shows overwhelming support for this legislation. Yet the political problem we face is that in a 50-50 Senate, we need every Democratic senator to vote yes. We now have only 48. 2 Democratic senators remain in opposition, including Joe Manchin. Bernie Sanders added that Congress was at a pivotal moment and had a historical opportunity to support the working families of West Virginia, Vermont, and the entire country, and create policy which works for all, not just a few. Manchin said, "This isn't the first time an out-of-stater has tried to tell West Virginians what is best." He added that Bernie Sanders was trying to throw more money on an already overheated economy. Manchin did help negotiate a roughly $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, which passed the Senate earlier this year. Sanders subsequently called for House progressives to tank the bill, which he voted for in the Senate. If House Speaker Nancy Pelosi brought it up with a sweeping social spending bill, the Democrats are passing under budget rules, known as reconciliation. After Manchin held a press conference last week to reiterate that he supports a $1.5 trillion plan, Sanders subsequently held 2 press conferences last week, where he urged a West Virginia Democrat and Kyrsten Sinema to be more specific about what they can accept in the spending bill. Bernie Sanders also joined progressives in a press call this week to try to hammer home the message to the senators or their spokespeople. They've stressed that they are in the talks with the White House, though many of the colleagues remain in the dark.
Now, Republican lawmakers in the Senate are now proposing their own version of Joe Biden's infrastructure bill. The bill could include a possible fourth stimulus payment, as well as an increase in your Social Security benefits by $200 a month. But folks, nothing has been signed yet, and our politicians in Congress are still working out the details. But I want to know what you guys think. Should we get a $1,000 stimulus check every single month until the crisis is over? And should your Social Security benefits be increased by $200 per month? If you believe so, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So folks, Joe Biden will make a speech to Congress this week to outline his American Families Plan. According to White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, the plan is expected to focus on policies, including paid family leave and community college. Jen Psaki also reiterated Joe Biden's pledge not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. For now, everybody, the White House isn't giving any specifics on the fourth stimulus bill, but details have started to leak out about what Biden is aiming to be the second part of his infrastructure plan. The Washington Post has reported that childcare will be one of the largest efforts in the plan. Funding could be roughly $225 billion for this priority. Paid family leave is another key component of Biden's American Rescue Plan, everybody. In addition, guys, Joe Biden has stated that he wants 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave. And this could reportedly cost around $225 billion. Everybody, do you support a fourth stimulus check? If you do, then leave a comment down below saying, I agree. And
That's why I proposed 2 critical pieces of legislation being debated in Washington. Right? They're both bills. They're not about left versus right. They're not about, moderate versus progressive, or anything else that pits one American against another.